In this week's parasha, we learn about Pinchas and his great act of killing Zimri and Cosbi for doing vile, immoral acts for Bnei Israel. And that leads to Hashem telling Moshe, Pinchas ben Elazar ben Aaron Kohen, Heshiv et chamati, he calmed my anger down. Bnei Israel, Bekan'o et kinati betocham. What did he do? Kan'o et kinati betocham. He avenged my jealousy, and he acted as a zealot betocham amongst Bnei Israel. And the Orach Chaim, whose yahrzeit was just 2 days ago, on the 15th of Tammuz, says that what was this special act that Pinchas did? He says it was really 3 steps. The first step, he says, is symbolized in the word bekan'o. That means he took his jealousy. That means that Pinchas was so selfless that he himself sacrificed his life to go ahead and do this act of killing, and he didn't have anybody else did it. He did it himself, and that was a level in itself, which was such a high level that Hashem appreciated. The second level, he says, is from the word kinati. It was God's vengeance. It was God's jealousy. It wasn't that he did it because he enjoyed killing or he got any pleasure or honor from it. He did it specifically and only because of the kavod and the honor of God. He only did it because God's honor was slighted, so he decided to go ahead and kill Zimri for that reason, for the kavod of Hashem. And it was only for Hashem's honor. It was a true act of emet, and that's why he was God appreciated it. And the third step was betocham. It was in a huge crowd, so it was a huge kiddush Hashem. It was in such a big crowd. And if you look at the Targum Yonatan ben Uziel on the parsha, Targum Yonatan ben Uziel on the pasuk Yud Bet in the beginning of the parsha says what was the great reward that Pinchas got. He reads, if you read the Targum, he says, Yishua emar le min shemi ha'aga chazar le, that from Shamayim they made a Shavuah. God sort of swore, and he said that Pinchas, he is going to become the mevaser. He is going to become the messenger to inform us about the Geulah. More well known that Pinchas ended up becoming Eliyahu Hanavi, to be the messenger to bring Mashiach. And Rashi, this is a well-known Rashi back in Parashat Bechukotai, says, Pasuk says over there, Hashem speaking, V'zacharti et biriti Yaakov, I remember the treaty, the covenant I made with Yaakov. And over there Yaakov is spelled Yud Ayin Kuf Vav Bet. Normally Yaakov is spelled Yud Ayin Kuf Bet. What's this extra Vav in Yaakov's letter? Rashi says over there that Yaakov took, so to speak, a collateral. He took a letter from Eliyahu Hanavi's name, what, the Vav, and 5 times the name of Yaakov is spelled with a Vav, with an extra letter, and 5 times in all of Tanakh, Eliyahu is spelled without a Vav. Because Yaakov took this letter as collateral to tell and make sure Eliyahu Hanavi would come and inform Bnei Israel about the Geulah, about Mashiach. Now, what is the deeper meaning going on in this Yaakov taking the letter? What's going on over here? There's a well-known Zohar. The Zohar says that this is based on a Gemara in Shabbat in Daf 104 Kuf Daled, that every letter really in the Jewish alphabet, the Aleph Bet, is not like the English alphabet. They have a meaning to it. And the letter Vav, the Zohar says, corresponds to the midah, the trait of emet, truth. And the Zohar doesn't go on to explain why. The Sefer Likutei Yehuda brought down in by Rabbi Simon, he says that what is the reason that this specific letter has such a meaning of emet? He explains that Vav, in the way the Torah writes the letters, if you look at the Sefer Torah, is the most straight letter. Does not have any juts to the right, to the left. It's very straight. You might argue the Yud is straight also, but the Yud towards the end in a Sefer Torah has a little of a curve. The Vav is straight. It's the most straight of the letters, and that's why it's corresponding to a straight midah, something that's very straightforward. Emet, truthfulness, very straightforward. No trickery. And us, who right now are living in a world, in general, this world is called Almad Shikrai, false world, a world of falsehoods. We know when Mashiach comes, we're going to enter into a world called Olam HaEmet. The world is going to be a truthful world. Everyone's going to realize who God is. Everyone's going to realize His kingship. It's going to be a world of truth and emet. But even though while we're in this world, and this is a world of false and trickery and sheker, there was one person who was known throughout Chazal to always be a man of truth. We say it every mincha and Shabbat. Titen emet liYaakov. The Yaakov was given, and he's known as this is his trait, the midah, the trait of emet. The Yaakov is the truthful one in this world of falsehood. And now we know the deeper meaning in our Rashi. Yaakov, who is the and only truthful person in this world of falsehoods, in order to strengthen and who better to have the letter of Vav, which is truthful too, could only be Yaakov. And Yaakov took that because that's Yaakov's midah, that's his character. So he was the one that took all those extra Vavs from Eliyahu Navi's name, because he's appropriate. It's for him. It's befitting to have that letter, to have that extra letter, and that's why he took it in this world to strengthen his emet midah. But when we go into Mashiach is going to bring a new era, bring in an era of truthfulness, and the only way we can recognize that truthfulness is the messenger for the time has to be truthful. And that's why Yaakov is saying that I'm going to give it back to Eliyahu Navi. When Mashiach comes, you're going to get back those vavs and you will be the Ish Emet. You will be the truthful one, because you have to be the truthful one, because you have to be the messenger in order to bring the Geulah. And why was it that as we said, Pinchas and Eliyahu are one and the same? And why was it that Pinchas was Zochet, that he merited to such a level of being the Mevasser? Why? Because he did the ultimate Emet. Because he did an act of only Emet. He didn't have any ulterior motive, no other reason to do it. And that's why God said, you know what? Since you had no ulterior motive, since you did the act purely just for my sake, it was a true act of Emet, Kinati, my sake, that's why you're going to be Zocheh, you're going to merit in order to have and become the messenger of Mashiach. The message really for us is that we all do many mitzvot and chesed and all these things. And many of them may have, although they're great, they may have once in a while some ulterior motive, some honor we get, some pleasure, some sort. It's in it for us a little bit too. There's nothing necessarily wrong with that. But the lesson here from Pinchas is that to take once in a while, at least do a midah that's purely emet, like the midah of Pinchas. And Bezrat Hashem, if we take that and we do that midah of kinati specifically only for Hashem, specifically only for another person, not any benefit for us, we'll be zocheh to what the Ashkenazim say in benching every Shabbat, every day in fact. You see, Archaman hu yishlach lanu, Bezrat Hashem, it should be the will of Hashem that He should send for us. Eliyahu Hanavi zachur latov, Eliyahu Hanavi, of blessed memory. Yivaser lanu besorot tovot yeshuot v'nechamot. And He will inform us of great yeshuot and comforting Shabbat Shalom.